So it's been a while. Uh, I would apologize, but I needed to take some time off. Something that's been kind of like subconscious, I suppose you could call it subconscious. I don't know what it is, but there are times where you can't pinpoint it exactly what you're going through, and that's totally okay. One of the things that's been I've been allowing myself to be bothered by is whenever I post things, is like things that people's responses, or not people's response, people don't respond. It's just the views and all that stuff. And sometimes I have the thought in the back of my head, and pardon me for doing this, really not because I'm asking for your forgiveness or anything at all, like that's not the point, but for those who might be you don't want to pass on negativity, but at the same time be honest with the fact that sometimes I don't know what the fuck people want. And that's just normal, right? People don't know. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's on this whole soul journey. We're twines, we're twigs, or whatever you want to call it, of the same source, but in different journeys, different roots, and different all that stuff. So I wish I didn't have to explain so much, because sometimes I wish I was just like, telepathically able to do that. And this is where it becomes easier when we elevate. And one of the things that I've been noticing as I go through things is like, definitely things are more like self-triggering things. I don't know if that makes sense. But the point that I wanted to make today is like, really, for me, I don't know what it is for everybody, but everybody's on their own journeys, everybody's their own thing, doing whatever it is. And raising your vibration has more to do with connecting to your own self, your own true, like your source yourself, but how it's coming through this whole, I don't know, I feel like there's some people that are not getting it, and they're just going with like this fad. It's like another thing of the ego, where the ego wants to create a fad of this and this and this and this and this and this and this, even through spirituality. And I can see it in myself. I can see it transform. I can see it like, I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but that's it's what it is. And one of the things I wanted to clarify is just that when I post things on here, I want to make sure that it's like, it is helping everybody, but more so that it's like, because I'm honoring my North Node in Leo, and that's just the name it's called. The point is that it's childlikeness, and being and honoring and devoting myself to this path of being, I don't know, maybe I am calling it like what it is. I'm labeling it, I don't know, but it feels like I shouldn't. And I think that's where the thing that's been kind of, in a way, triggering is, I don't know sometimes what to do, where it's a very Libra thing, right, where it's like, how do I help others but at the same time shine? How do I help? How do I do that? How do I balance that? But I feel like, no, I talked to one of my friends and said, it's not about balancing between me and your individual journey and with the journey of others. Fuck that. That has nothing to do with that. Every single person should be able to balance what they have and what they have with their own selves and what they have with their own selves. Again, I'm not sure if that's making sense, but basically you are in it, you're on your own, and that's what it is. It's not on your own like you're alone. You're on your own in terms of this 3D level, meaning like you cannot rely on other people. You cannot rely on other people's, you can't expect others to do what you want them to do when they are also doing the same thing. I think we tend to forget that, and I myself am like so guilty of that. So what I'm trying to show here is like, I want to shift my shit to really like, not really a one, it's more like just, because one of the things I've been going through is like surrendering to the moment. But sometimes it's like, it's kind of, so really what it is right now is finding a way to not away, but just really giving over and saying, coming from the heart where it's genuine. And one of the things that came to me was, I think about a few days ago, at the very least yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, was the whole like being childlike. I was watching this movie. I just felt like watching Christohper Robin again, the film, and I love Winnie the Pooh more now than ever than when I was a kid, because it's like I've always known this sort of like I want to just be, just be in the moment and never be afraid. And then, but when you've gone through past lives and whatever, and your past life here, and experiencing shit and people's pains, and hurt people, right? So there is that fear. How do you risk that? So being North Node in Leo, having all that placement in my chart, but besides all that, it's the fact that it's like I'm starting to kind of bit by bit realize that it's like it's okay to risk things, but not take it upon myself to say, well, that's their pain and their hurt and their shit is my shit. No, that's their shit. What your shit is your shit. My shit is my shit. Okay? So one of the things that came to me is like, I was watching this movie. I'm still triggered by it. Like, I mean, it's so good. It's a good trigger, meaning like, being reminded of being childlike. I miss being a kid. Cherishing the simple things. I even took notes on it because I thought, okay, I might forget it. I remember this one time, this old friend of mine, ex-friend, whatever, but, I'm pretty sure, she's doing well. But she bought a cake and apparently it got ruined. And then I didn't know that until she told me after she opened the cake. Like it was one of my birthdays back in, I don't know, several years ago. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, da, 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 da. And I was just like, but to me, I was like, what do you mean? I love it. I love that it looks ugly. I love that it looks kind of like homemade. Love that. Because it felt like it was from the heart rather than perfectly, manufactured and like, no. I want like simple, ugly, from the heart thing. Right? And I'm beating this heart because I feel like things need to open up a lot more. Not necessarily being like out there and going kissing everybody else, but being more open and being more risk-taking, but at the same time, still having those boundaries where I'm protecting the energy and not giving over the power to anyone, but at the same time respecting it. It's like, okay, what resonates will resonate, and what doesn't. It doesn't, right? So for me, relationships have always been important, but I do get scared, like I said earlier, because I've experienced a lot of like judgment, mostly because I didn't know what I was giving over this, my power. People would look at me, people would judge me and see that, okay, here's this guy, he's weird and he's eccentric, he's a fag, I don't know, he's not really part of the religion, he's not Catholic anymore, he's not, all those things that I myself, it's all concocted in my head. And just like, maybe that's not what they're thinking. Even if that's what they're thinking, even if that's what they believe, even if that's their opinion, that doesn't fucking matter at all. Because it's a sovereignty thing. And this is one of the things I'm learning about being in North Node in Leo, even more. It's like being sovereign, standing my own ground, be childlike as fuck, right? And so these stories, being an adult, because I look like one, I was watching this movie and then I thought people will look at you as if they're weird, and it's like, well, what they're doing is they're projecting. People's shit that's all it is. It's a story. We all have a story, right? So imagination is a gift, I wrote here, but it's also reality. And what I mean by reality is that it is reality. It's a true sense. This is real, yes, but this is temporary reality. The eternal reality is love itself. And what I'm learning is like, I really should not give a fucking rat's ass about anything, like any of that ego shit, even my own stories. Like, just get out of my own way. Get out of my own way. Stop listening to that bullshit. Okay? But really, really keep on, like, if I'm feeling like I want to create something, I want to do something, I want to show it, go ahead. trigger the fuck out of everybody else. I don't care. And I say that with all the love that I can muster right now, this little limited human form, but that's what it is. So I really love that feeling, that's connectedness, because I don't know, maybe it's a peace thing. Feelings of gratitude, childlikeness, that the whole thing. That feels like, I feel so light. Oh my goodness, I can just have fun, right? So I don't really know what I'm going to create. I don't know what I'm going to do, but at the same time, I'm not going to create things out of for the sake of everybody else, for the sake of what people think of me, for the sake of what I think of what other people think of me, right? So really from the heart, real honesty. So even if no one believes me, even if no one believes you, that's okay. Because the world can still be deluded in its 3D beliefs, right? Many people still stuck in their own beliefs, and it's not them, it's their own story that they're stuck in, and they're asleep. This is what the Matrix was for. This is what the Matrix was showing. It's like we're all asleep. That's the point of it all. When I was watching this movie, it's all about, yes, it's Taoism stuff, but the point is like, this is why I put in the post and the comments below, I put in the quotes from the movies. It all depends on how you look at things. We've all heard this in a different way. Okay? Keep north, Christopher. One of the quotes there. Keep north. Right? It's funny because it's like a keep north being, it's actually, in astrology, we show it's Polaris is the fixed star that helps us keep north. Anyways, that's another thing, right? The other thing is nothing leads to the nothing leads to the very best something. Right? If you really process that, it's like, oh yeah, okay, doing nothing. Okay. So by doing nothing, like, even if it means like ignoring shit, ignoring people's stories, ignoring your own stories, fine. The other of our favorites quote from that movie is like, what day is it today? What day is it? It's today. In other words, right this second. So I'm making the most out of it right now as I do it, and it's a great feeling because it's like you're really focused, right? So I wanted to kind of do this little thingy where I have done it before, but I kind of was curious about it. I just want to share it. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but okay. Every time, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but okay, I hope you can see that. If you don't, I don't. You don't really need to see the chart. Anyways, this was like about 2 days ago. I wanted to see what was going on. I can see that Mars is conjunct Mercury. Okay, there's that irritation sort of stuff. Course, conjunct Polus, Ixion as well. I believe they're all conjuncted to each other. So self-assurance, making decisions, right decisions towards your own personal bliss, especially in Capricorn here. So for me, it's in my 6th house. So things to do with being self-assured with my health, self-assured with like my well-being, and sort of things that I probably would take for granted, skills that are probably coming to surface. I don't know, I feel like that's what it's telling me, that it's like I should really find that and see what is, I think this ties in with the service thing, with the whole like how I'm helping people, but at the same time it's like, it's in my 6th house, so okay, finding my bliss first before anything else, because otherwise I'm no use to anyone, right? Haumea is like conjunct my sun and core. Okay, I get it. So regenerative abilities, very Pluto, very going back to your own inner nature, going back to that sort of thing. Okay, that makes sense. Makemake retrograde in my 3rd house. Okay, this kind of like insecurity about thoughts coming through. This is why I had to take a break. Orcus is conjunct my Venus. That's a big one, because being honest with it, but being honest with like, how am I being honest with it? Because Orcus in retrograde is like an uncertainty about integrity, but in this case it's more like, okay, I've had time to process this. I love that Orcus is in my 1st house, because it's like, now it's like, okay, I embody this, and this is what people find weird. It's like, Jose, you're so honest and serious, so in your face is like, and that's bad because Again, I've heard this with people's, I see it in their faces. I see it in people's faces, but people want to deny it. People want to tell me it's like, you're being delusional, blah, 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 blah. Fuck it. Okay? So I'm just like, no. I don't care. I'm not going to listen to that shit. Sedna is, of course, is in Gemini now. Okay. I don't know where that's affecting it. Okay, well, how does that... Okay, no, it's still in Taurus. It's going back to Taurus. It's in 29 degrees, so it is definitely trying my sun. Okay, new ideas. Okay, that makes sense. Why I sometimes said, okay, it's still coming through. This 29's, it's quincunx. Okay. So I've being able to adapt and to adjust to the things that I'm learning as I'm still getting to know Sedna. So Sedna has a lot to do with being really, really forgiving and really knowing when to kind of accept. In my case, it's in the 11th house. So it's like about society. It's about being able to adjust to what people know and do not know, and so sometimes that's kind of difficult and challenging. Well, I wouldn't say difficult, but kind of still a little bit challenging, because it's like, having compassion and all that stuff, because it's hard to give compassion when you yourself are not given one, right? It's normal, because it's like, well, not normal, but like, it's normal for people who don't get compassion. So I feel like, why the fuck should I give compassion to anybody else? I didn't get compassion. I'm just saying. But compassion comes from, I believe, for myself, in my experience, it's coming from the fact that it's like, maybe you don't have to give compassion. Maybe you just have to just be there. Make space for it. Just allow it to be. It's like, okay, people don't know? Okay. That's what it is. And you have to make a choice. You have to make it a practice. You have to make it a choice. Anyways, I'm not here for you guys. I'm not here for your lecturing thing. I'm not here. That doesn't, it doesn't work that way anymore. So anyways, I thought I'd also go into the other charts because I wanted to go into... This one didn't have the transits. I don't know why I didn't include that there. Okay. I'm going to close that one and I'm going to open up another file. I think this is why it wasn't working, because I wasn't opening the right file. There we go. And I just quickly go through this right now. I think this is the one. Yes, okay. This is better. Okay, so I got... No, let's go down here. This is the first one I grabbed. Okay, so how may I still conjunct my sun? Maki is the first arcus. Okay, got it. Same thing. Eris is okay, same position. Chiron, I have a Chiron return coming up in several years. It's going to go through Taurus again. It's going to conjunct. Things are going to come up again. But I can feel it through Aries, because it is right now, it's about 20 degrees Aries. So it is 20 degrees? No, sorry, 10 degrees. So it's definitely commitments, regarding commitments, who to commit to, in terms of like what because Juno is conjunct my Saturn, so definitely like how is it with society, things that are coming up with society, trying to balance that with Chirons. So wounding from the past, wounding of freedom, being able to be myself. But it's not in 10 degrees, it is actually 16. Okay, so it is... see, quincunx to Ixion, core Ixion Venus, core Ixion Mercury. Okay, adjusting to, that makes sense, because adjusting to societal, like people's woundings or projections, probably they're things that they probably don't want to face. and really adjusting to my own perception of that, like kind of balancing that with like, well, what makes me happy to what did make me happy, meaning like true happiness, like bliss, as in like through this form, yes, but at the same time not the egoic stuff. Okay, it is square, transiting. Chiron is Chiron is actually square Mercury. Okay, that makes sense. Now I see why. So, but for me, it's pertaining to the 6th house, so a lot to do with the taken for granted skills, being questioning my service to this and all that stuff. Why I have a YouTube channel. It is actually conjunct my Eris personally. I mean, it's still going to be there anyways. Eris is, but kind of testing that. It's being tested. Things are being kind of like made to. What did Philip Sedgwick say about Eris? This I want to know because I want to go back into this one. One of the things that still tests me sometimes is just like the real like lagging slowness of technology today. It's not high tech. I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to be negative, but it's not high tech. It's not something that for me is high tech. But it is. I appreciate that it does what it does, and it's does what it does. Come on, here we go. So disorder to order. Okay, liberation from addictions to success. I just get getting you can't get resourcefulness and life recognition, potency of one's energy and life force. Yep. Clear sense of sacred marriages, spirit to body, self to creator, between soulful companions, personal sense of emergence. Yeah, of course. So yeah, so basically, very, I don't know, there's something about Eris that also tests things. It's like very much like, you sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? I don't know, maybe it's just my Pluto thing, but I feel like Eris is part of that. And it's like really, really weird and intense, and at the same time annoying. It can be annoying for people. I don't know if you've ever come across Libras that go like, yeah, but okay, well, what about this? What about this? I'm not sure. What about that? Anyways. Okay. Let's see what else I found here. So Lilith is, so it says 5 degrees Virgo, so we're looking to 5 degrees. Okay, square Mars. Okay. It's transiting my second house, so that means okay, yeah. So self-worth, so that makes sense. That still ties into what I've been feeling, because it's like the anger that comes through, and it's just like being myself and self-worth. How to approve that is like, fuck all self-worth and what other people this is exactly what's happening right now. So naturally, yes. Okay, now I can sense it. Okay, Isis is though here, transiting Mars, so bring in more, being able to kind of be more patient and unconditional, and kind of just giving off of like working through, but at the same time manipulating those sort of anger into something else that's productive, to service that is more about, yeah, it's not exactly like, I'm going to serve you because I'm going to serve you. Things are coming through. A lot of it's in the 6th house. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of refreshment, a lot of thumbs of regenerate, sort of things that are coming, like renewal stuff. It's in my 6th house, Anubis, and both Anubis and Anubis actually specifically. And Horus is bringing insight into this whole 6th house placement, where it's like, okay, so service, because I have Cassandra right here, and nobody Nobody believes what I say, sometimes what I say. And that's natural. I do have Shapley attractor conjunct my sun, and Lilith is right there, and Pluto in Imhotep. So it's like when I say certain things about astrology, not necessarily astrology, but things like certain knowledges that's come through, just downloads and insight, it's like people have this little deer in the headlights look. And it's okay, but it's sometimes like, okay, I'm talking to a wall. So I don't know. So I feel like I don't want to say too much anymore. Just, I think everybody has to have their own discovery of their own. And I'm repeating that because I feel like many people just get the answers right away, and that's not, children don't do that. Children take the chance, go for they just risk it. They get dirty, they get mucky, they go play, right? But I feel like I don't know what it is. There's still something I need to work on, because I'm still pulling in certain people that are just like in it for, what's the what? Tell me the answer. I want the answer now, because I don't know. And if I know, that'll make me know and understand. But it's not. No. Experience. The whole thing. Knowledge isn't the only thing. You have to be, right? Fire, earth, air, water. You have to be your own fucking, like, you have your own authority. Stop giving over your powers as people tell you what to do. Okay? So, I don't know. I feel like this is a projection thing. I'm pretty sure it is. Alright, so for me, it is this whole thing. Cassandra, I'm going to have my Cassandra return. Oh my gosh. I see you're right on the right side here. Cassandra return. It's coming through again. Okay. I don't know. I guess this month or next month, or maybe in 2 months. I'm not sure when it's going to be in 12 degrees Cassandra again. So interesting. Okay. Osiris is coming through this one as well. So a lot of like rebirth as well. A lot of like questioning about, Osiris. Look up Osiris. Saturn transformation. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay. Saturn in my 8th house. Okay, got it. Okay, this is why I feel like there's no... Okay. Telling me to be patient. Patient. Going into Aries now. Neptune is already in there, transiting. Okay. Deluded freedom, possibly. Okay. But it's in my 9th house, so definitely... But it all comes down to being present. You don't necessarily need the chart to tell you that. Apollo is conjuncting the moon right now, or at least last a few days ago. And it's my 12th house, but it is transiting it, so it's the secret to the creativity is being kind of processed inwardly, naturally. So that's why I haven't posted anything, and I feel like there's nothing creative that has come through. I'm not sure where Apollo is right now. It is in retrograde, so that means it's going to stay there for a while, so I don't know when it's going to come back direct. Angel also retrograde, but it's in my 1st house. So guidance, I'm questioning the guidance. Okay, makes sense. Imhotep, transiting talent. Okay, so this is why I was just like questioning the whole like, okay, oh my goodness, astrology. Because I have Osiris still conjunct talent. I would say it's conjunct talent, but I don't know what's here. It's conjunct North Node. Okay, Osiris. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Knowing when to give over, knowing who to kind of, I think something to do with boundaries, something to do with, instead of giving over your power, meaning like death, instead of dying to it's okay for me, because like when it comes to asteroids, I love doing this stuff, and I learn on the way, I learn on the go. What is this? Okay. Learning from your weakness, learning from weakness of like transformation, that it's like, in order to transform, you understand, it's kind of like having powerlessness. Osiris is like that. I know this is more of the actual processing of loss, adapting to that, or Osiris is more about processing, learning from the weakness. There's something else there. I'm yet to discover that. But it does make sense, because I have North Node and kind of figuring out where am I headed, right? Where's this all going? Okay, Uranus adding to this whole thing. Okay, it's conjunct Imhotep. Okay, it's definitely like, okay, a lot of things going through. I have been going through more astrological stuff than ever before. Not just the asteroids, but like I'm going into aura astrology. I'm taking this other course for something else to make it more, to be more intuitive. But it's not about the method again. I don't personally believe that it's about method. As you probably see here, I have child conjunct my sun. This is why I've always been wanting. This is it. That's resonates with me, and I get resentful when it comes to things like people telling me what to do, people telling me they should do this, or no. And it's actually, wow, it's square. It's not telling it's square. Okay, but at least I have Sun, Pluto square, Nessus and Nymph. What's this Nessus? Is according to Phillips, willing to tend to helping hand, cooperative, respectful, but not willing to because, it's a healthy sexual energy. What is healthy use of sexual energy? Okay. It's a square, coveting, possessive, jealous, vengeful. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Transform and transmute egoic beliefs about powerlessness, okay, urge towards deep healing and self-transformation. It's still similar to what Philip Sedgwick said, because it's being compassionate and all that stuff. Really, I when I look into, I haven't really gone deep into the mythology, but yeah, so being there for others, but being there for yourself and transforming what needs to be transformed. It's still so vague. God, it's still so vague. So basically, it's like service. It's like life force energy, but using the sacral power, helping hand. Definitely a lot to do with the whole, like, when I resent being helpful to others, and people just want me to do what they want to do, rather than, well, I can't be of service if I also don't get to do my part. And this comes through, it's a hidden part that I don't really show, yes, because it's in the 12th house. Sappho, though, and okay, naturally with people who I want to be really, really intimate with, and that's kind of shows, right? But at the same time, I can't be intimate with them if you have some Pluto there, if they're not honest with me, if they're not communicating. I have Pluto in the 3rd house, but it's also, it's conjunct the IC, so that means it also influences the 4th house. So yeah, that totally makes sense, because it's like, okay, I can't be intimate with you because you're not expressing, I don't know, at least for me, I feel like I've always tried, not really tried, I feel like it's more, I just wanted to be this child, like being honest, and and people have judged me for showing off, for being either emotional, or extreme, or intense, or too much, and it's like, well, you know what? Too bad you can't handle it. It's just, that's the way it is. That's fine. We don't resonate, that's fine. Stop whining about it like a little bitch. Let's not be bitches to each other, like just accept it as it is, and we need to practice that. But you know what? That's fine. I'm not gonna, again, that's, everybody's thing is their own thing. I'm just being vulnerable here. That's the point I'm getting across here. But you don't need to, I don't need to gain everybody's acceptance or anything. I'm just like being honest with it. Varuna, conjunct my 1st house, okay. In retrograde, okay. Being completely honest with having my, what do you call this? Just being, I can feel it. I can't explain it in words. It's like being honest with myself to the point where it's that sort of feeling like I should be, Varuna is about completing tasks and having sort of this boundary and order in life without imposing it on others. It's just letting it be kind of thing, and saying this is where I stand. So it is the same, it's, yeah, makes sense. Okay. One of the things I also wanted to share with you guys is I have Ketu and Alterf, which are draconians. fixed stars conjunct my North Node. And Naus is not a draconian planet, is it? Is it a fixed star, I mean? I don't remember. The point is that at least I have at least 2, and actually they're still conjunct there. Yeah. So embracing the positive side and gifts of being narcissistic, and so that way I'm not pointing at narcissistic people. In fact, sometimes I find it hot. Not necessarily hot as in like they need to violate people. I don't like it when it's too much. I like it when it's just enough. It's that confidence. It's that sort of like, I know exactly what I want. I know what I'm here for. As part of that, it ties in with that whole being childlike thing. I have North Node in Leo, and all those fixed stars there are Leo. Sun rules those. So that means that it's all about that thing, right? Being childlike and being honest with myself, creating boundaries at the same time, and trusting the guidance. I also have Andromeda. I didn't put it in here, but it's opposite of, getting that guidance of like, be certain with yourself. I also have Sun, Pluto, opposite of Pallas Athena, but it's in retrograde. But Pallas Athena was known to be like certain. It's like, she appreciated people who worked hard for things, who just who stood their grounds, found the wisdom. She had compassion for those people who really tried and not just sat around like what did my friends say when you're having sex or something, and a pillow princess. No. No. But there is a gift behind that. There's a gift to that, where sometimes you're just tired. You don't want to do anything for anybody. Just be the fucking pillow princess. Fine. Okay? So it's all about the timing. It's all about what resonates with anyone. It's all about energies flowing. And we're all here to learn. So anyways, that's it. I'm not going to go any more into that. I just don't want to, just too much. I wanted to share a video that I made, a song that I found was beautiful, Dawning of the Day. It's an Irish piece. Originally, it's called, anyways, Dawning of the Day is that I remember. And basically, it's beautiful. Take it how you take it, however you want to. But for me, it reminds me of that being childlike and wanting to do that, where it's like, you can tell that it's, when you become jaded, but you rise above that and be more like creating boundaries. Because many people want to perceive spirituality, perceive this sort of elevation as if it's like, oh, it's only going to be all flowers and all that stuff. You can't go through that if you don't work through your shadow. And this is one of the things I'm going through, where it's like I'm still going through it. I'm still processing this shadow stuff. But it's become a lot more natural for me, not necessarily automatic, more natural to say when somebody has something that triggers me, I look at that and I say, okay, what gift can I find in that? Because it's not just about, okay, so I'm in this YouTube video, I'm posting this, oh, I want to look good and all that stuff. No, I mean literally, like, I want to process it. I want to make sure it's like, because I'm tired of feeling sick. I'm tired of feeling helpless and powerless because I've given it away, because I've said, okay, well, everybody's thinking this way, they want me to do this, well, I'll do that. Fuck it. I'm not going to do it unless it's like equal, unless it's not necessarily perfectly equal, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, I hope you catch my drift, but that's it. Anyways, I'm going to post a link to this video. I made a video of it. It's what it is. Okay. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope to see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed that intensity as much as I did, because now it's coming forth. It's a little bit more, but being also kind with myself, as one of my coaches said, it's like, being gentle with yourself, but at the same time still intense. And it's one of the things I'm still working on myself. So, we'll see where it goes from here. Anyways, blessed be to all. I'm not just saying that because I believe in witchcraft or something like that, or something similar, but it's all energy. But it means a lot to me when I say blessed be. You could say God bless. That's fine. I'm becoming okay with that now, despite all the history. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Much love. Blessed be. God bless.